Hey, what's up folks, and welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz, I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
What's going on, Brandon Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects for you folks. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the show. We're gonna kick off the show with today's coupon code. It's Hot Press. So if you want to check out anything in the Adafruit shop, you can get 10% off your order. This works on everything in the shop except for gift certificates and subscriptions. And if we head over to the website, we got freebies. This is a photo. This is the latest photo of all the things that we're giving out. There's like a lot of patches and things that we're giving out with orders. Over $99 or more, you get a half Perma Proto. $150 or more, you get the iron-on badge plus the Perma Proto. $200 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping. $299 or more, you get the Circuit Playground, the free shipping, the free iron-on skill badge, and the Perma Proto. All that stuff can be yours for a low price of $299.
Remember, if you sign in with your account, you'll get a different patch every time.
That's right. Very cool. We don't want you to get duplicates unless you want them. All right. We have same-day delivery as an option for folks in the New York City, Manhattan area. Check out the website for details on same-day delivery. Adafruit newsletter happens once a week. This one's product focused. Just go to adafruit.com/newsletter for that. CircuitPython meetings happen mostly on a Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. However, this week was a little special as the CircuitPython team was at PyCon. Welcome back, folks. I hope you guys are getting rested. Speaking of CircuitPython, CircuitPython.org is our latest endeavor in CircuitPython, the fastest way to get the latest version of CircuitPython on compatible hardware, not just Adafruit hardware, but hardware from the community, because that's what's up. I forgot this one. This is the Adafruit Daily newsletter. Go to adafruitdaily.com and you can get daily doses of different categories: biohacking, CircuitPython, 3D printing. I think there's some other stuff there too. Check it out if you want more stuff. We're hanging out in the Discord chat room in the live broadcast. Howdy, howdy. If I could spell howdy.
Good morning, good evening, afternoon, and night for everybody tuning in all around the world.
Yeah.
Got everybody hanging out in the Discord. Giving shout outs to everybody in there. Troy, Madable, AT Makers, Bill, hanging out in there. Andy Calloway, Mr. Certainly, always in here hanging out. Over on the YouTube, we have stuff from Kirby, Tran Chu, Jim2386, Apt Pupil. Thank you all for hanging out.
Hello, hello everybody. Hello, Bill.
Oh yeah, on the Facebook as well.
Actually, I'll try it on the phone. Discord, YouTube is tough. Yeah, Bill's like heading to the airport. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk a lot about Bill and his contributions to this project. It's really his fault.
Actually, we welcome it because it made this project a lot more better.
Yeah.
So definitely always welcome constructive criticism. Otherwise, you get the ban hammer. Get out of here.
Okay. Well, Hot Press is the coupon code. And I guess we'll jump into this week's project since we chatted. Whoa, man, slow down. Hey, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out today. And we got some fun stuff we're going to share. So we did the coupon, we did the housekeeping.
Let's go ahead and jump right into this week's project.
Yay.
It's super awesome heat set press
Thanks.
rig.
It's yeah, heat press rig. So go to learn.adafruit.com. There is the Learn guide. This one covers the assembly, and it hosts the 3D print files and just all the little bits of hardware and things that we're using in this particular build. So scrolling down, I wanted to bring attention to these soldering iron tips. These are by a couple folks called Vert Jewel. That's their name. That's the name. And they designed these specific soldering tips that are meant for installing heat inserts. Now, I know what you're saying. What about the McMaster ones? Those are, everybody knows about them.
We tested them.
I did not test them.
Oh.
I got these instead, not knowing that McMaster had some. But if you read the description, they say that theirs has a longer shank, so you can reach deeper into parts, tighter corners. I did look at McMaster. It looks like a little pancake, and I don't think they work with the ceramic heater ones. Don't quote me on that. Maybe Kirby can speak into that. But that's why we chose these. I forgot where I found them, but shout out to whoever either told me about it or somehow I found out about it. But they have like a Tindy shop as well where they're selling them. These are made in Colorado, so they're machined here in the States. But hey, if you already have the McMaster ones, stay with them. If you want to use your Hakko soldering iron, maybe you want to check these out. A little bit on the pricey end, but that's because they're made here and they're pretty decent. You get a pack of 2. They work with 440s, M3, and M5, and they're compatible with the 1/2-inch Weller and Hakko 88D irons, which is the ones we're always using.
Could be saying that he also, he hasn't tested them. He has the ones from Amazon, which you will be able to get from us pretty soon.
Yeah, these are.
Just saw them in the back end. They are probably taking photography pictures to put them in stock.
Yes, so we are carrying these.
Probably later today.
Virtual for hooking us up with them.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, because normally a reseller isn't. They don't let like you get like a low quantity. They let us get a low quantity, which is great.
Yeah, these actually used to be the same ones that was over at SparkFun.
Yeah, they said their sales stopped like dipping and they lost interest and they never replenished their stock.
Well, it's mostly because they don't do a lot of 3D printing projects
maybe that's
specifically.
Why. Yeah, maybe that's
like every
why.
week.
Yeah, these aren't for soldering. It says right on. These actually aren't for soldering.
Yeah.
They're for installing those heat inserts.
So we're happy to take that over.
Yeah, we'll stock them. Sure. Cool. So we don't stock them yet. We're getting them in the shop. They're like.
They're there.
A lot of things.
They're in the
there's
system.
A lot of other products other than
they have their
soldering.
PID. Oh man, if you were to look at the list of all the things that's being tested for samples,
crazy. We just got this like pink pigment.
There's so much. All we can say is we have job security for a long time.
Great. Isn't we're gonna hear some noises. We got some yard stuff. So beyond the tips, the heat inserts is another thing we're gonna start carrying. So I have these linked from Amazon. There's also some. That's the wrong link. Gosh darn it. Well. Oh, wait, no, that's right. Okay. The heat inserts themselves, I like these. These are my favorite ones. These are from McMaster Car. This is great because it's like a 3D model and you have the exact dimensions of everything. This one's great because it has like this little lip at the bottom that allows the heat insert to just rest on top of the mounting hole, so that so that it's got a nice fit. Like it's going to be locked into that mounting hole before you plunge it down. So that's pretty cool. So these are the ones I have. I also found these on Amazon, albeit they have a different diameter, outer diameter. They have the same knurling and the same little lip, but they're just different size. So it kind of sucked because like they didn't fit. Some parts I had to reprint the thing, whatever part I was making, and yeah, got a nice look at this like crazy GoPro rig. It has like 8 GoPros, and they're all using heat set inserts. That's cool. All right, so those are the heat set inserts and those are the tips. Other stuff you're gonna need, the main build consists of a 2020 aluminum extrusion. This stuff's really handy. It's about $7.50 from the Adafruit shop. There are some that McMaster sells. I think they're like $1 more, and I'm not sure if it's the same profile, but this one is the ones we carry, and we have a couple of different projects that we've done with it. Of course, the New Year's Eve ball drop, and then John Park used it to create a pinball table.
So cool.
Which is super cool, and it looks like we used it to create some sort of mount or something for the DIY LED video wall, which is pretty neat. And the DIY LED video cube. Awesome. So yeah, we have a 3D model of this as well. That's in our GitHub repository. I have it linked in the description of this video if you're on YouTube. And we have that as a 3D model, and we've used it in a couple of different projects. Funny enough, this doesn't show the guide that the slider uses it as supports.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, I think we put a limit on how many guides, because some products have so many that Dev wanted to cut it short, like limit the display.
I don't know. It's not showing. That's fine. Whatever. It's cool. So a couple different projects that we used, and we like it. 2020 all the way. Yeah. Lightweight and strong stuff. Cool. Hardware. These are these ball bearings that Bill Binko found, and they're kind of different. They're not 608 ZZs as I thought they were. They're 625Z, and I guess they're known with the Kossel Delta 3D printers. Yeah. And oddly enough, these dimensions are inaccurate. They're not right. So I found the right model on McMaster-Carr that had the correct dimensions and stuff. It's fine, but it's funny because I designed
for every time.
Yeah, I literally designed using these diameters, and my part did not fit. And I was like, oh, why did I not check the right spec? So that's a little word of advice: don't follow the spec here. Anyway, these are already feature the wheels. They're super smooth and buttery. So we're gonna talk more about the roller carriage as I get into it. So we're just kind of looking at the different parts. This is a weird kind of ball bearing. I don't think it's kind of your standard. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We used this on a couple of different fidget spinner projects. I used it in the Cricut laboratory shaker, the thing that's supposed to stir up chemicals and stuff. We used it for PVA support, dissolving. These ball bearings have a really big inner diameter of, I believe, 10 millimeters or so. And they're just really thin. They work for like parts that need to kind of press fit a ball bearing. That's why I liked using it. And I used it in, like I said, the Cricut shaker, but I also used it as the pulley idler for the ball drop projects, which is why I went with that route. Bill Binko went with like a big garage door pulley, which is great. It's definitely bulky. I mean, it's definitely stronger, but I already had these parts modeled, and I already had tolerances figured out, so I figured I'd go with that, with this ball bearing that I already kind of had on hand. By the time I got the garage door pulley in the mail, I had already had this printed out and assembled.
Not funny how that works.
Yeah. We carry a couple of the M4 size screws. These are for the 2020 aluminum extrusion brackets and things. We saw a couple of different brackets and stuff for aluminum 2020 extrusion. And these are really nice. These are called slim T-nuts. They're slim. You should just look at the photo. They're better than the oval T-nuts because you can actually, because they're slim, they can fit through the profile, and then you can orient them so that they tighten up the bolt, the T-nut to whatever mount thing. And I'm using this as like an end stops here, just using one T-nut and one button head screw, the M4. So these are pretty nice. So they're perfectly sized for this profile, the T-slot. What else do we have? So we have those T-nuts, we have the button head screws. Some things we don't have is like M5 hex nuts. For the roller carriage, some other things here like M3 screws. Those are all linked to McMaster because they have the right length and all that. And some other stuff that you'll need like a piece of nylon string or rope or paracord about 2.5 millimeters in diameter. Could be a little bit bigger, or a little bit thinner, whatever you have on hand. The counterweight, you can use nuts, screws, bolts. Bill was going to use like fishing lure. But he figured that was too expensive, and he opted to use BB ammunition for airsoft. So I guess that's cheap, and you can fill up your cup with that. Sweet. And then I broke down exactly what assembly needs what hardware. So the roller carriage needs this. The pulley idler needs that sort of stuff. And funny enough, some of the 3D printed parts do use heat set inserts. So you need heat set inserts for your heat set insert rig. Yeah. Cool. We carry this nice soldering iron, which is like 20 bucks. It has a ceramic heater element, just like the Hakko or the Weller.
So it is compatible with those tips.
It's compatible with those tips. Yep. They're compatible with the Hakkos. That's why we carry it. It's like the cheapest, nicest thing we can find. There's aluminum extrusion. Stickvise is an awesome piece of kit. It's great for securing your parts when you're doing anything, doing any type of work. Which is great. I like it. This printer, favorite printer, Inventor II. It's from Flashforge, but mono price. It's a nice printer. It's got it fits all the parts. I'll say that. We got
one of those
Filament.
Set it and forget it type printers.
Yeah, I like it. Designer notes. Shout out to Bill Binko. I have he demoed this last week on YouTube. Code 10 minutes and 3 seconds in. If you just click that link, you'll go right to his presentation of his version of it. Yeah, so you can check that out. Yep, you're looking at what, those nuts? Yeah, I have them really and cool they're nuts. M5. I don't have any M5, sorry. I like bought them. I was like, great, can't use them because I have M4 screws. So if we could find that with M4 screws, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to know what we're talking about, head over to the Discord. Bill Binko is in there.
Yeah, I know.
Posting links
I forgot
and
to tell Bill, like, hey,
suggestions on really cool parts.
Yeah, can you find those? Instead of the T-nuts, these are great because they actually stay in place with the little press. Well, gosh, what would you call it? Little press. We call it elastic nuts. There you go. Yeah, if we could find one that has M4 screw head, that'd be great. I was bummed that I bought these and I don't have the right screws. I never got around to looking for it. So we can spend time on that, but hey, there's lots of different kind of bits for 2020, so that's cool. Let's see some other cool stuff. While researching this, we found a lot of great projects and resources for using, how to use, how to install inserts. There's so many different types of them. So there's a great video that tests how strong are inserts versus tapped plastic by CNC Kitchen. That's a very, very awesome data-driven video. Check that out if you're interested. There's a white paper from Formed Labs that talks about adding screw threads to the 3D prints. And there's 3 articles on Hackaday that talk about how to use inserts, and two projects that use a drill press and a 3D printed adapter to create something very similar. So those are some further reading. Cool. Hopping over to the 3D printing page. These are the parts. I got them listed here. They're on GitHub and Thingiverse and all these places here. Bill, if you'd like to post a Thingiverse, I'll link it as well. I did not get a chance to do that. So if you want to check out Bill's version, maybe he'll throw it up on Thingiverse later. Sweet. Did you find the M3 version? Or it has
maybe.
Like
these are M4, M3.
M4,
here we go.
Perfect.
No, M3.
Oh, you can get M3 versions of that?
Looks like it. We will send this over to Lamar.
Yeah, maybe we can stock it too. Because the slim nuts are great. They fit into the profile, but they slide. So if you're trying to do something like this, you kind of have to turn over. Okay. Yeah, so when it comes to the slice settings, these are just kind of your common slice settings that I use for most projects. I don't think you need supports for anything. Yeah, you don't need supports for anything. Everything is oriented to print as is, centered on the bed. So I made sure to do that. Let's see, designing things. So the step file is included if you want to use Onshape, SolidWorks, or Rhino, or any other solid modeling app. So we tend to do that now, where we bounce out a step file because it's sort of a universal solid modeling app. It's not just Fusion. Because a lot of folks say, hey, why don't you use some open source software? And it's like, okay, here is a step file. Cool. All right, we're going to talk about the roller assembly. So originally, your basic roller carriage has 4 wheels, but Hitachi Nisaka on Thingiverse designed this really ingenious design that's a cheap roller carriage, and there's like 10 remixes of this thing, and it uses 3 ball bearings to create a roller carriage on a piece of 2020. And so the way it's designed is it can adjust the tension of the 3rd wheel because of the shape of the mount, and you can use a long screw and a cap nut guess just a hex nut, to tighten the tension on your roller carriage. So that's pretty neat. Bill Binko found this on Thingiverse and printed it out, and I redrew it in Fusion to not use the tension part because I didn't need it. I did print it out originally, but I was like, I kind of got this tolerance thing figured out, so I went with a custom version of that. But shout out to person on Thingiverse for releasing that. We probably released it like a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago. Very cool design though. So what I wanted to share was this version here was like the first one I created. It uses more parts. It uses heat sets, and it's not as good. It's just not as good. The reason is because these wheels, they just have a lot of like bumps on them, so it just feels like you're driving a car with flat tires and you're driving it on the rim. That's what this feels like. It feels terrible, and it kind of gets stuck a little bit. It's not smooth. I bet if the more weight you have on it, obviously it's going to be more smooth. But if you don't have your ball bearings and this is all you got, I guess this is a good prototype. But then it's your common kind of roller carriage wheel. Yeah, it uses those thinner ball bearings, I think. Yeah. More parts doesn't necessarily mean better part. So there you go. This one is a lot cleaner and way smoother. This is way more smooth. This is the way to go. Just weird that they're 625Z sizes. But yeah, these wheels already came with it. I don't know if they're heat pressed or what, but I don't think they're coming out, and I'm not going to find out. So those are way better ball bearings because they come with the wheel already, and it only uses 3 screws and 3 hex nuts, and that's all it needs. So great find on that, Bill Binko. And you can make your own. You can use this for a lot of different things, I bet. Okay, so that's the roller carriage. This just shows you how to install it. I made like a little handle for it, which is kind of neat. You don't need it, but I made it. So there is the full assembled one. I actually had to cut the screws. It uses long screws. If you are using button head screws to do this, you want to have like a length of like 25 millimeters. If you have the flathead screws, you want to do like 20 millimeters. And I only had 25, so I had to cut them, and boy, is that tough, because they were like whatever high-grade steel. And it's cut. It was hard to cut, so that's why they look a little jagged, because they are. Moving on to the arm assembly, it's just an arm with 2 heat sets. This thing gets bolted to the clamp, and the clamp uses what? M3 screws, yeah. Yep, and then the arm gets attached to that. This is where the pen of the soldering iron gets tied to. Yeah, sweet. Counterweight, this one talks about the counterweight. Little piece of rope. I'm using these old 608 ZZ ball bearings from a pair of skates. You can use BBs, which is probably less expensive, and then just this rope, this nylon rope. Yep, assembling the carriage with the arm. It gets bolted to it. Well, not bolted, but screwed to it. And that's what it looks like. Yay! There's a little tab with a hole in it, an M3 hole, and that's meant for tying a piece of rope to it, so that you can pull it up and down. So that's what the rope does, and that's what the hole does. Idler assembly. Yeah, this is way too complicated. Bill Binko's is better because there's like so many parts to it. But I already had this sub-assembly figured out for like the past 2 projects or whatever. So I figured to go with that route. But Bill's version, I think it's just 1 piece, and then the garage door puller. So maybe go with that route. But hey, this is what I have offering to you. So there you go. There's the full assembled assembly. All right, the 2020. So the 2020s that we carry in the Adafruit shop are a length of 610 millimeters. That is 24 inches in freedom units, and you don't need it to be that tall unless you want to have a really tall press and you want to press a really tall part. I guess that would work. We cut ours in half, makes it 305 millimeters in length. Cutting aluminum, I've never done it before, so I had to get the proper blade for my compound miter saw. This is a 10-inch compound miter saw. and I got a 100-tooth titanium blade because the hardware store only had wood blades, so I had to find this on Amazon, check the reviews. They're very terrifying, but it ended up working. I've never cut metal with a thing, so I took precautions, wore the right things, made sure that that I was wearing the proper, I don't know, safety gear. Made sure that stuff was away and that the chips would go this certain way. It has like a laser, but I couldn't figure out how to line that up. And using these clamps here to keep the extrusion up against the support wall, I guess. And yeah, it does wonderful clean cut. Compound miter saw is definitely the way to go. Yay. Pretty clean cut. Yeah, not too bad for my first cut.
Imagination Inform is asking, can you use a hacksaw to cut it? And Bill is saying yes.
Oh.
You just gotta cut it slowly.
Oh. Well, I had to get this thing done. So
And Mr. Certainly is asking, do we have a metal bandsaw? You get table mounts for handheld bandsaws from DeWalt, Milwaukee, etc.
Yeah, I thought the compound miter saw would be the right tool for it. Quickest way, cleanest way, I think. Oh, it's a good purchase. Cool, so that's how I cut it. I didn't cover that in the video because it was getting over a little too long.
And then another comment from HT Magic saying they used a horizontal bandsaw to cut a 8020 structural components. Works well too.
Nice. Excellent. Cool.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh gosh.
We wear
I
glasses,
wore the
so...
stuff and, we were filming it, so I had to be super precautious of what's going to go wrong. And if you look closely, like, the thing's hanging off the freaking table. I didn't even look. You see that corner? It's like hanging off the table. It's super unsafe. Don't do that.
And then Bill's saying that, to mention that it could be tall, So
yeah, it could be tall. Just leave it. I
So
almost
you really
didn't do
don't
it
need
too,
to cut
but
it.
I kind of had to get this thing done. I really wanted to cut it the right way. Don't be a chicken. Cut it. Like, I cut it. All right, cool. I should have did by hand, right? Let's see. Back to the learn guide. Yeah, so I didn't cover that, but I did link to my miter saw and the blade that I'm using because I think it's okay. I got lucky on the base. This was a piece of wood that Brandy cut like a while ago, so I didn't have to cut anything. I just like trued up the edge, I think, right here, and that was it. Yeah, just a piece of wood. Just make sure your wood screws that you're driving into the 3D printed bracket are not longer than the piece of wood. So that's about it. Piece of 2020 gets secured to this 3D printed mount. There's 2 T-nuts and 2 M4 screws that go on each side of that. So they kind of tighten up in the profile there. So that's how it looks like. And then so you could position it wherever you want. If you're doing the whole wood base thing, you put it where you want. I thought it'd look good on the left. That's where Binko put it too. So I was like, yeah, it's a good place to put it.
Nice sturdy spot.
Yeah, so it's like an 8 by 10 inch piece of wood. It could be whatever size though. Whatever makes sense to ya. And yeah, I'm using wood screws, little ones, little baby ones. Cool. Moving on to this is a cool photo. This one shows like all the sub-assemblies before it's on the rail on the 2020. Start off with the roller carriage, like fitting that over the profile, and then you want to orient it to where it makes sense to you, wherever you put your platform. Just make sure your orientation lines up where you want it. Installing the 2020 is the next thing. It goes on the opposite end of the roller carriage. You just slide that in, and then while you have those 2 pieces already on the 2020, it's a good idea to do the rope next to string that through the little pulley there. Since mine has a little tight thing, the geometry kind of makes it so that the rope doesn't come out. So it's you have to kind of pinch it in there and then kind of rotate it slowly so that it catches the rope. So if you have a thicker piece of rope, it probably won't work with this. So you might want to check that before building it. Check your thickness of your rope. That's why I linked it, or not linked it, but I said it's 2.5 millimeters thick, the rope, because I think anything bigger probably won't fit in my little idler. Cool, and then the idler goes on top. Yeah, the pulley goes on top of the profile of the 2020, and it gets bolted down with this 1 T-nut here. And then we can put the soldering pen on there. I don't think Bill's fit on this clamp. He used this same print, and it had like a bigger shank or whatever handle, but you just had longer screws, and that seemed to work okay. So we might, you guys might want to if you have like a thicker iron, maybe it makes sense designing like a custom bracket for your iron or something so that it fits perfectly. End stop near the bottom of the carriage so that it stops. So it stops the iron from hitting the platform.
Yeah, a couple people, I think Imagination of Form was asking about stops. There are two, the top and the bottom.
Yeah, the top is just stops from itself. Let's go over to the overhead. So there's the final build. Let's see. Yeah, take proper safety precautions. Remember to keep the power cord away from the tip, and remember to turn off your soldering iron after use.
Another modification would be...
Somebody said the soldering iron will get very hot while energized. Please keep body parts flammable, etc. away from hot parts.
I guess Mike,
do not
maybe.
keep heating the inserts after placement to prevent plastic melting and damage. Oh, that's right. And please avoid fires around heating devices and use safety glasses during use. Stay safe. Thank you, Mike, for that. That was excellent. I neglected to say that in the video. This is dangerous. I did burn my finger, so don't burn your fingers. Cool. Let's look at the what's it, F? This one. So let's look at that. It's going to be a little bit hard to see, but there's a little T-nut right there. So when I hit that T-nut, it stops right before hitting the platform. And you can adjust this. You can unscrew this and move it up and down because it's a slim T-nut. And then the top.
Oh, random puppy.
We got a random puppy.
Say hi, Roof.
Hi. His name is Rufio. And
settle down.
Let's see if we go at the top here. There's the thing just stops itself. You know, it just stops there. And if you look at the back here, the string is like kind of lengthed accordingly. So this would just this right here stops before this gets to reach all the way at the end, and then this stops around midway. So you can play around with the end stop wherever you want, and adjust the string as you need. The only other thing that I kind of forgot to design was some sort of clip to hold this somehow without it just kind of dangling wherever. So we might revisit that, but I'm not really bothered with it too much.
We'll definitely revisit it, as some people are suggesting having it be motorized. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, right? It has a countdown and has lights. It goes, hello, Happy New Year. I am low on these inserts. I got like a pack of 50 from McMaster, and I'm down to like 10 because I made a lot of parts, you know. So I guess we're gonna do some live pressing. The soldering iron that I have linked is this one. It's got like a built-in controller here. I like to use 380 because I think that's okay. Maybe it's too hot, maybe not. I don't know.
And then Kirby is saying that it's not soldering if you don't burn yourself at least once a week.
Yeah. So this is the Stickvise. Huge fan of it. Thank you guys for recommending it. Stickvise. We're going to look at a custom Stickvise Jaws for Sucker Playground in the Shop Talk show, I think, or Community Makes, one of those. So that's why I'm using. I can feel the heat here and smell it. It's definitely heating up. Yeah, so I have these Hdpe Jaws that we sell in the shop as well. I thought I'd pick those up. It's got a nice. I flipped the jaws around so that it's nice and flat. It's meant for parts instead of like that V groove. So let's see.
And then Bill, Mr. Certainly, and Mattable are both mentioning to make sure to turn it off because the heat rising up could damage the iron as well.
Yeah. Well, my original design, like the whole thing was all melted and wobbly because I was touching this nut right here, this collet nut, that gets really hot. Don't touch it. I know it looks like it doesn't, but it gets hot, and I burnt myself on.
Yeah, those stock photos of people soldering are completely fake. Don't touch the metal.
No. Yeah, so there is a little lip at the end of that heat set, and that just rests on top, and you can't push it in. It won't go in all the way because that lip has got a smaller diameter. So this makes it so that your alignment is going to, your heat set's going to stay there. It's not going to like fall off. So the only other thing is like kind of bringing it down slowly and then lining it up just before you touch it. All right, so I got it lined up now. So when I did all the shots, I had to line this up first. I think Kirby mentioned, where's the laser, man? What are you doing? You gotta line this up like some sort of savage. So it's set up. It's lined up now. All I gotta do is just hold this down in my hand and push down. Let's do a zoom in. Zoom in. Can I zoom in? Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna zoom in and press it in.
Get a close-up shot of that.
I like to not push it in all the way at first, because if you do push it down, you can't undo that, so. Ooh. There you go. That's it. There's your heat set insert.
Nice.
Yeah. So don't touch it yet. It's still hot. Ask me how I know. So yeah, this is just the same part of the idler. So I'm just making another copy of it. Maybe switch up the color. So yeah, when you're inserting it, maybe get away from the tip. And then put it in, and then we'll go for another one. But you can see how close I am to that edge, because the part, it's got like this weird shape to it. A bit more maybe. There we go. Yeah, probably want to make sure that this piece of wood, this platform, is nice and level. It's got a little bit of a bend somewhere, but it's fine. So you go, there's that first piece. This is another one. Just fits on top, like that. Sometimes the tolerances are different on some parts. Shouldn't be. Like this one, maybe it was too close to the bed, but it's staying in place so far. How are we doing so far?
So we got a suggestion for a secondary mount for the laser pen.
Yeah, totally got to do a laser pen. Yeah, this one doesn't want to go in all the way. There we go. Just that little bit of heating it up guided it back in there. That's why I like these, because they have that.
Because it'd be a lot more difficult to line that back up if you were just free-handing this.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why I built this, right? I was working on the Keyblade project, which uses heat sets, and that's a huge part. This print takes
quite a while,
hours.
so
I ruined it in 12 seconds. It took 12 hours. I was like, never again am I gonna, do this. But I had to do it. And I had to get it on video, which is like upsetting. So gosh, it's all crooked and gross looking. And I'm using like crappy heat sets.
Bill Binko says that his design should be up in Thingiverse in about 10 minutes. He's doing his upload right now. And then we're getting requests for it being mounted at an angle, so the base is closer to the board.
Mount what at an angle?
The soldering iron. It's like one of those side 3D printers where it like prints sideways, just to keep the heat from rising. A good idea.
Yeah.
A machine making parts for itself. What a time to be alive, says Anthony.
Right. I also wanted to give a shout out to a fellow on Instagram who came up. Well, he had his own press that he designed, and I think a lot of folks saw it and were really pleased with it. But then,
was that the first design?
Yeah, I'll show it to you after this. All right, cool. So we're done. We got our 2 pieces. They're heat set. Hopefully, it didn't take longer than whatever.
I think people like demos.
Okay.
Bill Binko is also saying that his heat press is completely compatible with all the parts on yours, so you can swap around if you want to use his cup. You can use his cup with your design, or vice versa.
Excellent, yeah.
Or the pulleys, they all should be compatible.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Bill was showing off these light touch buttons, and they have the quarter 20 heat inserts for tripods.
Yeah.
Which I should pick up some too, and I could probably use that M5 tip that came with this pack, because this is the M3 440 size, which I tend to use for everything. M3s.
Yeah. M3s down to M2.
Yeah, super awesome. So let's take a look at. I think that's it, dude. What was I gonna
Sweet,
look at?
awesome.
I was gonna look at some other things. I forgot. Let me look at the notes.
You were going to show another design off, different design. Then,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Inspiration on it.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see if I can pull it up. I have a Google Doc with like a bunch of reference links. So yeah, this was Here we go. I found you. Unfortunately, the person who posted this
Oh yeah,
has like
disappeared.
Has removed his account. So I got lucky because somebody, Coding Heroes, is like a person who shares other people's things.
Isn't that funny? That's the thing that would save
That's what
archaeological
saved this.
events
Yeah, like some
in the future.
Not gonna say it. But yeah, look at this thing. It's I
And
guess
this looks like it's motorized too, huh?
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe.
So
Or maybe it's
yeah. So
foot
Technology is his name. Was his name on Instagram, but I could not find him anymore. He had a bunch of really sweet mechanics and
That's
Fusion
so
360 designs. So his looks like
Wow.
it stays there and it has some sort of like tightening bit. And those are the make block aluminum beams.
Which
that
we
I
did
was
get to
getting.
try
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and even the soldering iron is different. I guess it's a Weller or something. But yeah, this guy, this is what kicked off the idea a couple months ago or a year ago or whatever.
It took about a month to make this.
Yeah, and I didn't think that I was actually going to make one until I ruined my keyblade. Yeah, 12 hours. Man.
Sometimes it just makes sense to do the heat inserts.
Well, when you ruin a part and you're like, why? Okay.
All right, cool. So if you guys want to build your own, all the parts, everything is linked. Don't forget to use 10% off coupon code HOTPRESS.
Yeah, we'd appreciate if you hold off on purchasing the tips, because I'd like to actually show that we can sell this thing. It's like, yeah, I got these tips. You're just gonna sit there. Another hacker said a different design as well. Did they? Please link me. I'd like to share it and add it to the resources list. Yeah. Yeah, the only ones I could find were the ones that I linked from Hackaday.
If you jump over to Discord, you can see Bill Binko has posted his version.
Let's do it.
Again, completely compatible with the one here.
Where's this tab? Here it is. Let's check it out, guys. And I also have Bill's YouTube video linked with the right time code. Sweet.
And then Tynezo in the Discord is saying that you can use a gauge to be the stopper so that you can do the entire press in one go. Use a gauge guide to set the depth, set the stopper.
Yeah, nice little depth stop action.
Yeah, a good idea. So all of these could be added. You have
Bill has a light on his soldering iron, which works out well.
Yeah.
I guess I could put
and some soldering irons, I think his have like a timer as well, so it just
it shuts off. After. Oh yeah, I didn't turn this off.
Definitely. Oh, I thought you did.
Yeah, see, folks, safety first. So just off. There we go. Yeah, don't touch it. Yeah, if you do get plastic on the tip, which is what I did, you can just use a paper towel to scrape it off. Is that what he did? Yeah, I think it had alcohol or something. Obviously, the iron was cold before I cleaned the tip. But yeah, I did get the melted plastic on the tip. It comes off. No worries. It's brass. You could probably polish it too, since it's discoloring now. Looks old. I want it to look shiny and gold.
And don't forget to join us on Show and Tell. Looks like Bill Binko will be there as well.
Yay. Yeah.
So definitely tune in for that.
Cool.
All right. I think that's it for this project. We'll definitely be adding more modifications, maybe making it motorized. Probably next year or something.
We'll see as we use it and we figure out what we really need. We'll obviously
maybe a little guide for the stick vise, like more little clamps to hold it down in place, the laser. All really good ideas that definitely implement.
Sweet. Shout out to Bill Binko. Yeah, this would have been just what we did originally, and it just
which wasn't as
it works with like
way
two parts.
better.
It works with very small parts. So yeah, this is way better. These are the jaws that I wanted. We're in Shop Talk now. So Stickvise is great. There's lots of different custom designs for it. and there's like a Thingiverse page, and they just overall good team. So let's take a look at Thingiverse.
Really good modification by Kirby. Stuff with Kirby in the chats. Made this really awesome stick or grippers for the Circuit Playground Express.
Right. So if you got a board that's very custom shape, making a pair of jaws is kind of useful, especially if you're doing a lot of different projects with the same board layout.
And I retweeted his posting of a better schematic of the clamps.
Better schematic of the clamps? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Dimensions
right.
and spec sheet that he drew up for the jaws.
Yep, so there's these two M3 holes on each of these aluminum blocks, and they're threaded.
Let me get the link for
Not
this.
heat set, because it's metal.
I don't see a link for this, Kirby, so I'm just going to link to your Twitter status for this.
Oh, what am I doing? This is electric. I'm doing it by hand. Are there any like quick releases, like a quick plate for changing out jaws? That's kind of neat, because this is taking a little bit longer than anticipated.
Posting up the links to the update or a better drawing for the stick vices if you guys want to make some custom ones. I think somebody made a trinket sized one.
I've seen someone, yeah, there's like a Raspberry Pi Zero one that looks really useful, especially when you're putting a header.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a Panavise attachment.
I put tack on it.
I put tag on it, yep. Tack everything. All right, after hours of assembly, here we are. Where's the circuit playground? There it is. So she fits right there. Ooh. And you can tighten it with this compression action. Tighten it up on that wing nut, and there you go. You got yourself superly secure circuit playground express.
Nice. I'm going to use this for hero shots, little beauty shots of the board.
Sure. Sweet. Yeah, a lot of folks create their own. Like somebody did like a threaded rod here, which is pretty neat. And then we could do overhead. Yeah, this one.
Nice.
Cool. So shout out to Kirby. It's on Thingiverse now. If you don't have a Stickvise, you can pick one up in the Adafruit shop and use coupon code HOTPRESS.
Super handy. I like that this is actually the most expensive component
in the build. Yeah.
Well, not really part of the build, just one of the
it's a tool.
accessories.
Yeah. Helps you hold stuff. Yeah, I got this cheap $7 vise, and people are like, use the Stickvise. What are you doing? I was like, oh, I never heard
We
of
actually
it.
carry it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's what are we prototyping.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is
Yay!
the PyBadge.
PyBadge, we've been showing bits of it. I just wanted to show some comparisons between some of the older gaming projects like the Pocket Pi Girl. Makes it look like a giant Pocket Pi Girl. And even the...
That's Pi Girl Zero. Pi Girl
Zero.
Pocket, I forget where she is. She's somewhere.
Oh, you're right,
Not
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe in Gavin's room.
And then compared to the size of the Joy Bonnet,
Sorry.
it's a little bit bigger. The case utilizes no heat insets.
Yeah.
It's all
There's no
3D
room for it.
printed.
It's all snap fit.
Nubs and snap fit, but you could definitely use screws. The standoffs do have the M3 holes on the bottom, so you could use this if you just want to, if you don't have any clear filament and you want to look at the beautiful silkscreen artwork from Philip Burgess. You can definitely do that as well. Just use the back. Back's just used to protect the 400 milliamp hour battery that I have on there and the oval speaker. I have a nice little cutout for that. We also have a reset button.
Yeah, this is nice because it has like a concave feeling to it,
I'm
so
super
that you're not
proud
going to
of this.
accidentally push it in.
Yeah, so it's completely flush with it. You really do have to push down on it to do the reset, which you'll definitely need when you're prototyping your games because it's running MakeCode Arcade.
Holy moly, this is crazy.
So this is a completely editable game. If you tune into John Park's workshop, he's been doing about 2 months worth, I think, of MakeCode Arcade tutorials, which show you how to completely make a game from scratch. So how to do animation, setting up your sprite, the artwork for all that, and then having that all run on actual hardware.
That's right.
This is so amazing that it doesn't hit you until you actually have it in your hand. You're playing around with it. You open up your web browser, start editing your sprites, your animations, do an edit, and then you, with web USB, giant shout outs to our very own Dan Halbert, who got that working, I think, yesterday. So in the web browser, I was able to edit this and shoot it right over to what is going to be challenging now, I think, all the Raspberry Pi emulators and games and all that, because I saw that we can now run NES ROMs on this.
Yeah. Yeah, why wait for Linux to boot up for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
You can have instant joy.
This is
what was kind of a mind blower for me was when I was playing their little demo game. It's called it's called Flappy Duck or something.
Yeah.
And I kept dying. And I said, wait a minute. I can make it so I don't die.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. Just drag it and drop it and say, little checkbox. I don't want to die.
So I'm not usually a gamer, you know, even when we did our Pocket Pi stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is
especially
a freaking game changer.
The complete control over mechanics that hasn't been explored. So.
And the wide possibilities of the level design, the game design, the creativity that a lot of people always have, but the barrier is always like, oh no, how do I get this sprite to animate? How I get, you know, this menu screen to show up?
Yeah, hit the button and then hit menu. There you go.
There's a menu here.
Put it up closer. Let's get a look at those graphics. They're animated as well, folks.
Yeah. There's audio. I think the support for the audio is coming.
I don't see any lag or anything.
Yeah, it's so freaking
There's particles
awesome.
and like atmosphere.
This is just a preview, but we'll show it again. This is next week's project.
We haven't even got sound working yet.
Yeah,
that's coming.
It is so freaking
So by the time
amazing.
we actually have these in stock, I think we'll have a lot of awesome demos and games and things. Cool.
So this is supposed to be like a badge. So we have the little hooks on here that are compatible with the lanyards that we have in the shop. I already talked about the button. Super proud of it because it took me 2 freaking days to get this all nice lined up and not falling out.
Yeah. Yep, you have access to USB port, which does do charging.
You have stemma on the back, the stemma ports, programming ports. There are headers on here.
Yep.
I'll go, again, I don't want to spoil all the coolness. I'll show this off next week.
I'll spoil it right now.
Oh, there you go.
Here's the 3D model that we showed last week. And yeah,
the screen is the 1.8 inch.
1.8 inch. I think it's 320 by 240. Perhaps it's smaller.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think, was it 160? I forget what the resolution, because it was a multiple of something, but it's
accelerometer on there.
There was a lot of thought going into being able to expand this.
Speaker port, charging, built-in charging.
You have
there are some
light sensor, you have a accelerometer on there, you have NeoPixels on there. This thing is
8 megabyte flash.
Dope.
Yeah, the Pi Gamer is gonna have like SD cards.
There is
support, bigger
another
buttons,
version
analog
of this coming
joystick.
too.
That one's gonna be super gamer. This one's like a conference badge. Like you could do games.
It's supposed to be like a conference badge, but yeah,
because it's the size of a credit card.
Because what happens to a conference badge after the conference, you know?
You play with it.
You play with it when you have a PyBadge.
Build a game.
You develop on it, you continue using it so it has a life that is beyond just a, you know.
What do you do with the Disney pins? Did you use them?
Well, you can use this now, again, for other projects, prototyping, all that cool stuff.
Very cool.
Obviously, Gavin loves this because it's so nice and small. I don't know what else I can say without continuing to spoil.
Yeah, so sign up for us, but don't, hold on. The website, here's a...
Yes, they are out of stock. They're probably being made as we speak. Sure. There's more going in stock. Yep. We're going to have 2 different versions. Sorry.
I was just saying that we have tutorial content from John Park, like you were saying earlier. And,
yes.
This is a live guide. This is a guide right now. It's live. You can do this right now, today, in the simulator. You don't have to have the hardware. So when you have the hardware, you just offload it. You just play with it.
And in case you missed it, because all this stuff is just so mind-blowing the way that this is going on. Last week, the team from Microsoft, MakeCode Arcade, were on Ask an Engineer.
That's correct.
A lot of mind blowers were dropped during that episode. So
yeah,
definitely
good inside look of what went on.
listen to all the stuff that's going on.
It's crazy.
CircuitPython editing is coming in MakeCode.
Python, being able to write Python right in there. That's great.
There's a lot of awesome.
Yeah, I didn't want to learn
happening.
JavaScript. Now I don't have to.
Yeah, right.
That's great.
So definitely check that out if you have any interest in what's about to come up with all of these awesome gaming platforms coming down the pipeline.
Hayden needs to cook more. Okay, should be cooking a lot. With the hot press. Don't forget, coupon code hot press.
A ton of things that are cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah, very cool.
So usually I'm not a gamer, but man, this thing has me addicted. This is so awesome.
Good. I don't have time to be excited yet. I got to work on this 3D scanner.
Right.
Sweet. Where do we go from here?
This week's Timelapse Tuesday, Community Makes.
Give me a second. Let me look at the notes. Did we miss anything? There's always something we missed. Like, oh, I didn't get to share that thing. Where are my notes? I lost my notes.
Perfect timing for setting this up because I'm pretty sure Timelapse Tuesday and Community Makes section is now.
Yeah, this is the continuous servo. I want to have that open. And somebody's like, what is that? We got the PyBadge product page, PID 44200.
Oh yeah, let me mention that again. There are 2 versions of the PyBadge coming out.
Yes, an LE version and the full-blooded version. This
the other one is not going to have headers. It doesn't have an accelerometer.
Right.
It doesn't have the NeoPixels.
Let's take a look at it.
It's supposed to be the low cost.
NeoPixel.
Oh no, it has one. Doesn't have.
We can take a look.
The other 4.
Here it is. So you have 1 NeoPixel, and on the back, you might like this because if you want a super duper thin, this is the way to go. Yes. You might even get rid of that JST connector there and go full out, super slim. Sorry, super slim. It's great. So, $10 cheaper. Yeah. We're making more. Excellent.
As we speak.
As we speak. All right. Coupon code. That. And then...
don't worry if we don't have them in stock. We have a coupon code every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so there's always time to take advantage. This week's Community Makes, this Timelapse Tuesday request from our very own Phil Cherone. I saw this on the Instagrams. I was like, hey, let's put a Cricut on there.
Yeah, right.
So this is a 2-stroke engine for educational purposes, especially in this household since we don't drive gasoline-powered cars. We have to show our kids
this is how it used to be.
Cars used to run.
Yeah. So you want?
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at the website. So it's on My Mini Factory by Reg Taylor, who uploaded this, and it's a free download, I believe.
Yes, it is free.
Yeah. Sweet. So he's got some photos of it here of the assembly, a couple parts and things, so you can print. Did you need any supports or anything for this?
I did not.
Cool. So you just printed in pieces and
just printed flat. He did a really good job of getting all the tolerances to fit. Cool. Pretty good. So it does come with a little crank, so you can hand crank this. But of course, we wanted to put a continuous servo on the back there. We hooked it up to Cricut and a Circuit Player and Express. Just used MakeCode to program the A and B button to go reverse and forward. Do that, forward, reverse. And when I was doing the build, they were doing a nightly build. They were fixing some stuff, so I wasn't able to get the step up and step down, so it would like increment in speed. That should be fixed by now. Just didn't have time to copy that code over. But
some speed changing if you want.
You can do some speed changing on there. You can have it go left to right.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's great.
Buttons on there.
The Cricut really makes this super duper easy. You just plug it in and drag and drop some code blocks to get this going.
Yeah, there were some questions. Oh, why didn't you just put a motor on the back? Because you can do light sensing, you can do temperature sensing, you can do light sensing. There's a bunch of
we can not do something awesome with this robotics platform?
I know.
It's just like scratching the surface. It's always like a starter point.
Yeah, you don't teach by just slapping something and be like, there you go. No, you want to expand education, teach them learning how to code with blocks, teach them how to print a thing.
My job's here to let you know the amazing thing that Lamar designed and worked hard towards.
Exactly.
This is it, man.
You don't learn any of that by just slapping a cheap
motor
on there.
Anyway, Of course it's over-engineered. Duh, because it's just starting off.
Exactly. But this is just a cool little way for displaying animated, you know, things on whatever, you know, for school, education, things like that. So definitely a lot here in terms of teaching kids about programming, design, 3D printing, coding. Yeah. So
oddly enough, fun story. Getting it's a popsicle stick with hot glue.
Oh, yeah,
it is 3D printed. But you know, the thing broke, right? And which broke the servo? Horn?
Oh no, it was just the horn. I just didn't glue it on there good enough.
See, that's why it's a little off-center.
Yeah.
Hey, you can quickly prototype something. Hot glue and popsicle sticks, man.
There you go.
This is super fun.
So awesome shout out, since I have not seen another two-stroke engine that actually works and is printable and people have you know, confirmed that it does.
There's a lot of models of this type of design, this mechanism.
Yeah, so
wow, it's really smooth.
Awesome.
So
awesome design.
One of the reasons why we're using a servo instead of a regular motor,
continuous servo.
A continuous servo is because you have control over it. As Peter showed you, you can have it turn on when you clap, when you see light, when you move it, when you tilt it.
The temperature changes.
The tilt is a drop down. It says like, do you want to tilt this way or that way? It's kind of interesting. So this is the servo, it's 750, and it comes with a bunch of horns and hardware. So yeah. We also have a metal one, I think.
Yeah.
And we have lots of projects that use it. It's a great way to kind of get...
I don't think we have the metal one.
You don't have the metal one?
I don't think so. I think we have the other one that's not continuous, that's metal.
Last time you ordered this was 2015. It's been a while.
Super handy.
Super good stuff. So there you go. They're in stock. There you go. Coupon code HOTPRESS if you want to get some more continuous rotation servos.
Matt Bodger was asking where we got the screwdriver. Thanks, Bill Labinko. He posted the link on there.
Oh, thanks, dude.
A very awesome motion-controlled screwdriver.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
But it's definitely handy if you do a lot of screwing.
Sore wrists. This can help you out.
Yeah.
I don't have a link to it, but it's in the Discord chat room. Discord chat room. Here it is. Yeah, I love it too. Motion control. And we're blanked out here. There we go. There it is. It's $100.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
It's hackable too. It loads as a USB drive and you plug it into your computer, so you can change the functions. It just loads as a drive. There's a little hex document in there. You can open that up and type commands in there. Have it operate how you want.
Yeah.
Super cool. There's even a firmware update that came out with this. If you have one, you haven't updated it.
Screwdriver's got firmware.
You can update the firmware for your screwdriver.
Screwdriver tweets. Remember that scale that tweeted your weight? What were they thinking? So yeah, you can get 10% off that with Hot Press.
Thank you all for joining. I think that's going to be it for this week. It is 12:01.
Oh, there's something else. I swear. Yeah, all the makes this week. There's that many.
We're gonna have to save that for next week.
Yes.
Just
keep piling. I did show Kirby's, so that was cool. But there was some. What's this one? What was a really cool one? Oh, Pi Portal case. That was kind of neat. Oh, Kirby also did the iPad Pro bumper.
He added some speaker holes, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He used the Apple design doc to do it. Because they have really good documentation if you're making a case for an iDevice.
They do, yeah. They even have the radiuses for the corners.
Yeah, they're crazy with the radiuses.
Well,
the way they make
they want the case manufacturers to have their things working perfect for them.
They manufacture themselves with that, with their own CNC machines.
No, the other case makers.
Oh. So there you go. Check it out. It's meant for flexible filaments if you have an iPad Pro.
Yes, so handy.
Sweet, good thing. All right, well, that's it. We got more. I'm going to put them in the blog and stuff. And we'll get those out and get Bill Binko's files up and updated in the Learn Guide. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Show and Tell. We'll be there with everyone from the community. Lamar and Phil. We'll get a chance to chat with them. And then Ask Engineer is shortly after, as it follows, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Happens every Wednesday.
Today's episode is going to be a remote show. They're actually down over at, I think it's the IBM headquarters, Red Hat quarters over there. If you missed all the blogs and tweets, Lamar won.
Yeah.
Awesome coveted award.
Very well deserved.
Definitely check all that out. Lots of accolades going around. So awesome.
Yep.
Tune in tomorrow for John Park's workshop.
That's correct.
Happens every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be showing off some more awesome Make Code Arcade stuff and build up to making a full-blown game. So definitely check out all of the playlists for all the past episodes.
That's right. I need to do that.
It's so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit you until you have it in your hand. And it's like, what?
The speed of it too is. Oh, yeah. Buttons already debounced for you.
There's no kernels to load.
What? Yeah, spend 2 minutes just loading it. Sweet. Well, there you go. That is going to be it for the show. Again, don't forget the coupon code is HotPress. We're going to have another one tonight and tomorrow. That sounds cringy. Yeah.
No, they're talking about somebody's asking if you can resin print an eye. Would it be safe after curing?
I would not try that.
Yeah, that stuff stinks so bad. I couldn't imagine it'd be safer for stuff. Like, when I see the
dental use of it though?
I'm sure they're using clean stuff. So yeah, maybe if you use that.
Yeah, maybe
use to make a mold, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know if the audio was terrible or not, and hopefully it wasn't.
If it was, we definitely
would have
heard
known
it.
about it by now. Yeah, I got this new mixer that works out really nice. It's called Just Mixer from
That
Park.
sounds a little over-modulated
Oh, you
from
do?
here there,
Oh, boy.
but not the whole thing.
I have complete control over that. How about now? Because I have like a little slider now.
Because of the lag, I won't be able to.
Oh,
but
right,
just leave
right,
it there.
right. Yeah, I'll leave it there for next time. There's no way to lock in these sliders, but whatever. It's in the middle.
Tape it down.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Noé, that's Pedro. Don't forget to make a great day and stay negatively positive. That's a new one. Bye, folks.
See you next week.